So you were telling me about X-Men 97. So you an X-Men fan?
Yeah. I remember growing up watching the show, and as someone told me to check it out, my first reaction was, I'm not going to watch that garbage because everything they've been redoing from the past,
It's been
all
trash.
the sequels is trash. Like
Right.
the Matrix, the new Matrix movie, trash. But I ended up
Right.
watching X-Men 97, and they kept the same theme song. They kept the characters kind of. I mean, they downplayed the sexualization, right, of the body parts and all that. But the story was good, and it was respectful. I feel like to the original material. So I was hip to it. I liked it.
Me and you and our debatable minds, right?
Yeah.
I think you're talking about the Rogue booty shot with Apocalypse, right?
Yeah.
How did it down? But here's the thing:
it,
is it downplaying it though? Because they all the dudes still jacked and got six packs and all that stuff. So
but
Gambit, they killed Gambit off, man. They killed Gambit off, man.
Yeah, no, that was terrible. But they didn't draw them all as exaggerated as they were, like Storm. Oh, they always had like what appeared to be like skin tight leotards, right? That were just different colors. With this, it looked like they had layered clothing. It wasn't all about like you couldn't tell. Not that when I think back as a kid, I don't remember that as much.
I don't either, man.
I don't remember that until they pointed it out. But that seems to be the problem these days is nobody really notices that stuff until someone points it out.
Maybe the problem is the person that points it out.
Oh, damn, that's a can of worms and a half.
That is, man. Now, of course, I'm semi joking with this because a lot of people point stuff out. It's not problems, but with this cartoon, man, I don't see the big deal with it. But I do want to say the guy that has redone the X-Men 97, his name is Bo DeMaio.
Mm-hmm.
And I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I was nervous because Marvel is jacked up on. I'm a big, huge comic book fan.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. I feel like after Avengers Endgame, they've kind of took a nosedive. The She-Hulk stuff was like an all-time low because She-Hulk was awesome. Like I got so many like She-Hulk comics. She's funny. She like the dudes that make jokes on her. She makes jokes on them. She's not a victim. She-Hulk was amazing. So when I watched the actual show, I was like, here we go with this stuff, But
here's my first controversial statement of the night.
You said first. This man's got 10 in him.
First. I think whenever you're marketing something, you have to make sure you understand your target audience.
Right.
If you do statistics, you run Google statistics of how many people purchase magazines, the demographics, and this is not. I'm not trying to be sexist or anything like that, but it's like 72 to 76% of the people that purchase magazines are boys, men. Right. So that has to be the demographic in your mind that you're looking to target. That is the majority of your target. And then the other 28% is the supplemental. Like include them in the stuff you do because they're also a part of your target, but they're not the main group. What I feel happened is that Marvel made all their money catering to the guys with the stories and the male protagonists and putting them all together against the male bad guy, and the female were there, and Scarlet Witch, and you had Black Widow. They were still there, but they weren't the center of. They were part of a story, but they weren't the center of attention. And then this whole DEI thing started, where they started changing the stories, and the men lost interest. That's really. I think what it is like Captain Marvel is a perfect example. I liked her addition to it, but I didn't like her solo. And then the last movie I watched, she was a part of a movie that she was supposed to be the main star in, but it was about two other people. Like you're losing me at that point. It's hard for me who's watched all of them, and I kind of want to keep watching them so I don't lose the story to really enjoy what I'm about, what I'm spending my time doing.
Yeah, and I'm 100% on board with you on this because, okay, and I had a conversation with one of my buddies about, and one of my buddies, he's a big comic book nerd like me too, and he's like, why do you think, but he doesn't really delve into politics and stuff like that. So I said, well, a lot of this stuff is running hand in hand. I would say the majority of people that are interested in comic books, majority of people that are interested in, I would think majority that buy tickets to go see these movies are men. And I saw a actual stat sheet. It's in the 70s to 78 range.
Mhm.
You gotta go to those people, man. You can't be like, nah, I think we should focus on the.
They tried, and now there's a pushback against it. And now
There's been a pushback. George, there's been a pushback the whole time.
Right, but see, there was a, I don't know what the word is, like a demonization of the people who were pushing back.
I think you nailed it right there.
There was a quiet minority that were pushing back, and now since everyone's kind of been like, "Whoa, you guys have lost $500 million. Disney's lost $500 million. Movies are bombing." Now there's an overall choir of people saying, "Yeah, you know what? I can see that we've gotten off the train a little bit, and we need to correct it." I mean, when you're thinking about bringing back Steve Rogers from Captain America, you're thinking about bringing Robert Downey Jr. back for Iron Man 4. That's the overcorrection because they need that again, right?
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I'm a little nervous about that too because they served their purpose. It was supposed to go into another era, and instead of them actually listening to the fans that are Marvel fans, that are actually comic book fans, they went into this super ultra crazy DEI stuff. And it's like, I'm a big comic book head, man, and I didn't recognize a lot of the characters because, I'm fine with, Nick Fury being black or whatever. I'm fine with them turning whoever they want to, whatever color, getting them off of the main storylines. The storylines are great, man. With the X-Men, you had Chris Claremont, who was amazing for such a long period of time in that definitive area from the 70s to the 90s. And then you guys had decades of source material to pull from, and you thought it was a good idea to put some of these movies together?
I just don't understand. And it's happening everywhere. Like, I'm not a marketing genius, but tell me, would people rather go see The Acolyte, which looks from Star Wars, it looks like a complete disaster, or would someone want to go see someone play a young version of Luke Skywalker as he adventures through the galaxy for those 12 books that they have, and he's like a Jedi creating another Jedi, council, another school for Jedi children, and his adventures. Like, people would probably want to see something that they're already familiar with and the canon and they've read, versus the stuff that they're trying to do. And it's just like, man, like, what's wrong with them? Just kind of, you want to shake them. And right. I think, look, if you want to handle DEI, you went about it all wrong. Instead of forcing people to change their materials, just get a fund together. Put money together to support actors, artists, people that are creative, that are minorities in these fields, so that they can come up with their own characters more easily. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to have more transgender people representative in these comics, don't change a comic book actor's sexual orientation. Just give people money so that they could further along their ideas, and they can make their own stories and then bring those stories to the big screen, that create something new, and support those people. Don't try to change what's already there. Like, leave Superman alone. You know what I'm saying?
It's bad that we've gotten to this place in society where, and I guess everybody's got their own opinion on this, which is fine, and we welcome it. So if you guys see us talking about this and you want to interject in on this, please do in the comments. Let me and George know, hey, what's your thoughts on this? Because, hey, me and him have our opinions. We could be wrong. Maybe you guys can change our opinion on it.